this world lies in the hand of the evil one. So the reason God doesn't want you to love the world is that his enemy runs it, because it is operated by Satan. So it's no wonder that he doesn't want us to love somebody that doesn't love him and actually doesn't love you either, if you love him. It is that organized system headed by Satan that leaves God out. World relates to a central theme surrounded by spokes. So when God talks about loving the world, it only is talking about one thing, but it's got different spokes coming at it. And that one thing is that it leaves God out. It is that organized, pre-planned system that wants to draw you out from the will and the way of God. That's worldliness. It is Satan's job to get you to not merely be in the world, but to fall in love with it. You can be in it, you can benefit from it, you can utilize it, but what he does say is you are not to love it. But we're so desirous that this world does not reject us, that we embrace it and we hold on to it, and we lose the love of the Father. He says the three things that are in the world, he says, let me tell you there. He says, they are the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. That's what he says. These are, he says, let me tell you what's in the world. Everything in the world, he says, falls into one of these three categories. First of all, the lust of the flesh. Lust means to crave and to desire. He says it is the craving for pleasure outside of the will of God. The lust of the flesh is the craving for pleasure outside of the will of God. Either because the thing in itself is wrong, or the thing is right, but you use it in an illegitimate way. The Bible makes it clear. Drinking wine is not a sin. Drunkenness is evil. The Bible says sex was given by God. Immorality is evil. But what Satan does is he makes us fall in love with the pleasure, the desire for it. So we fall in love with it, and we lose the Father. The lust of the flesh, the desire for pleasure illegitimately. Secondly, the lust of the eyes. That is the illegitimate desire for possessions. Lust of the flesh, the cravings of the body. Lust of the eyes, the craving for stuff. Many who are sitting here today are drowning in debt because you had to have it. That desire to have it at the expense of taking care of my family, having my priorities straight. Many cannot honor the Lord with their finances because they have to honor MasterCard and Visa and American Express. Because I got to have it. And notice how Satan stirs up the desire. Every time you look at TV, you got to have it. So we wind up spending money we don't have to get things we don't need to impress people we don't know. And then he says there's the pride of life. That is the illegitimate pursuit of position. Position. So we We connive to get ahead. We lie and cheat to be promoted. We hook up with folk who can advance us even though their value systems don't agree with us, just so we can get ahead, because after all, we know it's a dog-eat-dog world, and that ain't no lie. We know to get ahead in this world, you gotta compromise your values, you gotta compromise your priorities. You can't be a Christian and get ahead in this world. And so the boastful pride of life, my desire to advance independently of God, even if it's not God's will. And so we let our pride, unwillingness to submit below the mighty hand of God, and we allow our pride to cause us to love the position outside of the will of God. This is the same temptation that Satan gave to Eve in the garden. It says, when she saw the tree, lust of the eyes, and it was desirable to make one, that was the lust of the flesh, to make one wise, the pride of life. I can be as smart as God. It was a temptation Satan gave to Jesus in the wilderness, turning stones into bread, the lust of the flesh. Jump off of these buildings, the lust of the eyes. Let everybody see you, Messiah. Bow before me, and I will give you all these kingdoms. The lust of possessions, pride of life. He uses the world to get our attention because it looks so good, it feels so good. He says, don't love the world because it's temporary. You loving something that's going to leave you, or you going to leave it. The world is passing away, and its lusts. You're falling in love with something that's going to lose its luster. It's fading. It's fading. Know how excited you are when you got that new car? Had the smell, you had to keep it clean even when it wasn't dirty. Because it fades. That new house becomes a house. New clothes become clothes. They fade. It's temporary. So don't act like it does not fade. Not only does it fade, we fade. That's why we spend so much time, money, and effort trying to pretend we don't fade. There's some ladies here with extensions. I ain't losing my hair. This is my hair. Ain't nothing fading. Some with double and triple makeup. I ain't fading. I ain't getting older. One of the reasons I tried to lose some weight is because I needed to not look like I was fading. But no matter what you do, this world is fading. Don't act like it's permanent. He wants us to live here, work here, play here, do all the things we do here, but with an eternal perspective. This world is fading away. In other words, don't love the wrong world, because this is not the one you want to love. You want to love the world you're going to, not the world you're in.